Follow your dreams. That saying is heard everywhere. But what is a dream? Is it the dream I had last night about diving into ice cream? Well, that is a dream, just not the kind of dream I'm talking about today. These dreams are the visions that one has for their own future that they want to see come to fruition. These can mean career dreams, such as wanting to become a firefighter or a lawyer. My dream is to become a medical doctor so that I can live a life of helping others and make a difference in the world with the amazing field of medicine. But with big dreams often come big costs. But just how expensive are we talking? With any talks about how expensive anything is, it's important to talk about a certain time at which financial mistakes are very likely to happen: college. It is an environment for learning and studying how to make a contribution to the world, or an environment for other things depending on who you surround yourself with. But we need to address the elephant in the room. And boy, it is a big one. I'm talking about the tuition, the hidden fees, and the hidden costs as well, such as books, transportation, food. And if you're living in a dorm, you're paying to live there as well. According to data from the US government themselves, the average tuition in America is about $10,000 per year, with room and board costs being around the same price. And with these exorbitant prices, most Americans resort to student loans as a primary way to achieve their dreams, to become doctors, lawyers, etc. But even with federal loans, this can lead to near lifetime debt. According to educationdata.org, it takes on average 20 years for a graduate to fully pay off their debt, with some professional graduates taking up to 45 years. That would be when they're nearly 65. And yet, under the age of 25, when their brains have not fully developed yet, they're making financial mistakes that affect the entire rest of their life. But this is not a call to not go to college. This is a call to understand what one is getting themselves into before investing their time and money into it. Time and money. Well, only money really contributes to costs, right? Well, not really. Time is also another resource. Time is money. Cliche, I know, but things can also be expensive if they take a long time. I would like to become a medical doctor, but that requires nearly a decade of schooling and several years of training afterward to get my medical license. That is thousands of hours of work before I'm allowed to experience my dream. And it is very possible to have a good social life while in medical school, but that requires very good time management skills. And that's a very hard skill to learn, cough, cough, TEDxNeoCity students. But with all these combined costs, does this all mean that it's not worth it to spend time and money into a dream? A reality that one wants to be in, a life that one wants to live? I say it is worth it. Boo-hoo, everything's expensive, and we should not chase our dreams, is not what I want to be taken from this talk today. So what do I want to be taken? Well, I want to provide the premise that dreams are a good, no, wonderful thing, since they can provide a sense of purpose and drive to someone. And when people do achieve their dreams, they may feel something that's worth more than any sum of money: satisfaction. After all, nobody wants to feel like they could have done more with their life. And this fear that I described can usually be avoided if people complete their long-term goals, whether they may be as ambitious as owning $1 million business, or be as simple as finally getting the free time to be able to finish their insanely long backlog of video games, books, or movies. But it's not quite all about the payout that one gets. We all know the saying that money doesn't buy happiness, but that has merit. According to an article from the University of Pennsylvania, money is likely to make a happy person or okay person happier, but money is not likely to make a sad person happy. The point of my talk is that although dreams should absolutely be chased, they should be chased reasonably. Imagine chasing after an orange that you just dropped and is now rolling away, and it falls straight into a swamp full of alligators. I would not take those chances even as someone who lives in Florida. But it's very valuable to chase these dreams, of course, but it's also important to have a plan B. That orange that we just dropped, well, it's okay, because we have a pear as a backup. Now, the pear may not be as good as the orange, but at least we get some fruit from our labor. And even if our efforts to chase our dreams results in failure, it's never a complete failure. There's always something to gain from the experience as a learning moment. But what if we were able to catch the orange? What if our business that we built was successful and we achieved our dreams? Great, we did it. We can enjoy successes and know that all the struggles were worth it in the end. But what if we did even try? We would not have invested any time or money, but we still may have a cost considered the biggest by some: regret. we may look back on our choices to not try with regrets that we did not shoot our shot. Yes, chasing dreams can be very expensive sometimes, but as long as we have a way to cushion ourselves in the face of failure, chasing our dreams is worth it to achieve that sense of satisfaction. Plus, it's important for people to get out of their comfort zone and risk failure in order to achieve their dreams. If anyone wants to go to college, they're going to have to get out of their comfort zone of living with less responsibilities, such as feeding themselves. If anyone wants to build their own business or do their own independent research, they're going to have to be comfortable with being their own boss. I know that if I want to become a medical doctor, it's going to take at least a decade total of studying and training in order to get my medical license. I know that in that decade, I'm going to expend a lot of my emotional state and will to study in one of the most rigorous kinds of programs in the country. I know that I may not even get into medical school because it's so competitive, or a training program after medical school, and take even longer to become a doctor. But with a backup plan, I know that chasing my dream of living a life of helping others while living a good life will be well worth the costs. Thank you.